against my better judgment, I am making a video at 1:30 in the morning about just how crazy it feels to have gone through what feels like just constant bad news ever since we saw the basics of like, oh, Donkey Kong's gonna be really pretty and Mario Kart is using its graphical firepower for like a big open world and racers, which is very ingenious. That's where the good news ended with Switch 2. I can't believe, sorry, this might be harsh. It is shocking to me that there are people who are insulated enough inside the positive of this to be processing the negative properly. Like, it is shocking to me that you can be happy enough about the fun cow in Mario Kart to take things like Nintendo is now monitoring your Switch and has the capacity to terminate it remotely. Just to take it on the chin and to continue to be excited. If you are excited, power to you. Honestly, your love will create the wisdom that will help me understand how to process this. But I was falling off my Nintendo rocking horse a while ago, and I didn't know just how clever it was to start to create other rocking horses because I just it's 1:30 in the morning and I can't even just make a meme about it. I started to make a meme thumbnail that's just so shitty it is probably going to lose me followers or even friends. I don't know. I hope not either of those. Definitely not the latter. I was making this terrible thumbnail and I realized, you know what? I can't even just make a post about I have to talk right now at 1 in the morning and just shit this out onto the internet. It's just been so bad. It's been so bad. And the worst, the worst thing is that there was a moment where we were like, oh, this is going to get bad because of Trump and the American fascist takeover and the attack on the world economy. No, that is a problem. That is completely a problem. But while that is looming over this and threatening whole new hyper dimensions of crap, like actual like existential danger for the game industry, Nintendo's doing Nintendo is already creating the worst hype cycle. No, it's not even hype. Nintendo is already creating the most depressing series of news that I have seen come out of a company. One that I thought was like really, really like on their stride for the Switch era, just making like really nice products for the most part, really nailing a huge range of people's tastes and doing right by a lot of very cool series. And obviously we knew they had issues. We know they have issues with their pride and they want to control everything and they want to control you and how you play games. We've been known, they destroy their fan communities when they do too much creative stuff. They destroy projects, they destroy anything, including like emulation law that they don't like. That's just like a known factor. But to have it all come out at once, like we all agree like Discord updates are almost always bad. There is some cute stuff they've done, but when a Discord update comes out, everybody I know is just grumbling and they're like, oh, it's worse now. So many things go through what you would call and shitification. That's just a thing. And shitification is just a phrase now when you just gradually make things worse because of money. You make your product less fun to use. There's less of a point to your changes, and less people are happy. That is a thing that I cannot even encapsulate properly the amount of shitification Nintendo is doing to their console. Admittedly, they are making cool games. I will admit that it is a different story to other bad console hype things because the games look good, and I'm sure it's going to be fine for the most part. And I still think, Switch 3, that'll be cool. Catch me there. Learn your lessons and stuff. I believe in that whole graphics wall. I believe that they're not very far from the point where PlayStation and Microsoft ran out of things to do with their graphical firepower, which is to say, I don't think they have that much further to go with their graphical power. I think they're pretty close to having something good that'll last a long time and hopefully stop massive downpours of shitification and price increases the way that we have been getting just hammered by for the last like 47 days or so. I hope this doesn't happen again ever. I hope what's just been happening because oh my god, every little thing is so stupid. because as of today, there is stuff about the specifics of the power of the Switch 2, and people are a little bit skeptical. Like, oh, well, it's a good thing they have, DLSS, because this probably isn't going to hold up with AAAs for much longer. So, the fun, everyone is here, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII, Cyberpunk, like, whoop, no, that's probably just only going to last for the next couple years while we have, like, those cross-gen PS4, PS5. We didn't have anything to do with the PS5 hardware yet kind of era of games. And then we're going to be wanting a little bit more power again, which sucks. It's terrible to hear because that is the only thing that I trusted this console for besides the mouse. The mouse seems cool. And then to have to see videos that are asking, is game chat significantly hampering the ability of devs to use the power here? Because we know that game chat runs like shit. Like, it has like the video feed, and it looks terrible because it's hard to run that kind of thing. And I will say, it's definitely clever. If Nintendo is going to use a powerful system, why not? Why not have fun, simple games that use voice chat? That's very them. That's very community. That's very fun. But that was all you had going. That was all you had going for this console, was that it was the stronger one. That's all you have. You're losing so much. It's going to be, oh my God. It's more expensive. It's more expensive for people to put games on your console because you still have those proprietary cartridges, which I saw as, I knew that was a bit of a problem before, but I could not have fathomed how much of a problem it would be now. This doesn't use CDs. It uses cartridges. They're proprietary. And there's a lot of talk. A lot of people are aware now of the whole, like, does it fit in under, 16 or 8? Probably 16, I think, is like the base cartridge for Switch 2. And if it's not going to fit in that, then you have to get a more expensive cartridge for like 64 gigs or something. And companies have to work around that because carts are less powerful than CDs. That's kind of I think it's kind of like an underspoken part of this in like the casual to like middle informed discourse about Switch 2 is that the cartridge is really weighing things down here. I love cartridges. They're cute. I'm sure it's a big part of why they have such a nice, relatively affordable form factor on the console itself compared to handheld PCs. But it's harder for companies to put their games on Switch 2 than it was Switch 1. I straight up just hope that companies keep putting games on Switch 1 for a couple years, or many years, because that console, so many people have it. We can do so much gaming on that thing still. Oh my God. And then, because you only have so much space on these cartridges, we have the death of physical gaming. Can I get an F in the chat for the death of physical gaming? I don't take pleasure in doom and gloom. I'm literally just venting. The day that we saw the news, the day that people were like, oh boy, I'm getting my pre-order, everyone else was watching on in horror because we were seeing, every third party advertised is using game key cards. I messaged my friend. I'm like, I don't mean to alarm you, but I think we just saw a major turn for the death of physical gaming because it seemed like I don't know. I think because we just weren't aware enough of the cartridge sitch, like it seemed like Nintendo was going to be kind of one of the last holdouts for like proper physical because they didn't have a digital only console, right? No. No, I went on bestbuy.com and I went from fucking game to game, like fucking the Grim Reaper. It's like knock, knock, knock. Oh, nope, this is just a download code. Knock, knock, knock. That's just a download code. Capcom, knock, knock. Nope, Capcom's out. Just a download code. Thank you, CD Projekt Red. So weird. It's so weird and ironic that I learned a lot about Cyberpunk back when the hype cycle was happening for Cyberpunk 2077, and many people said like, hey, having a big mainstream, big budget, like highly marketed, very commercial Cyberpunk game goes against the ethics of cyberpunk. Like, it goes against the ethos of cyberpunk. And that's how I learned more about cyberpunk. And it is ironic how much of a cash cow cyberpunk is if it's not being used by the people to criticize corporations, but in a weird, like, Ouroboros ass eating kind of way. Now the ethically meaningless washed corporate cyberpunk game is taking a stand against the bigger corporation with its physical. And CD Projekt Red said, like, don't count out physical, there's a value there. So I guess that's a silver lining, but it's just kind of smeared. It's mummied it. It's smeared in all kinds of weird shit. Yeah, I mean, kudos to Nintendo. They've still got their games on carts, which I like. I don't know if I'm gonna keep collecting physical. I love collecting physical games. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it or not. They've enshittified physical and digital so much at the same time that I don't even know if I'm going to swing one way or the other, because I look at how bad physical's getting. It costs 9,900 yen for Mario Kart on Switch. I'm glad it did my pretty little, like, oh, end of the era video, because this is just like, this video is disgusting. I had to say it again, 9,900 yen. I looked at Portrait of Ruin, one of my, like, new favorite games, and I said I would never spend that. And then I woke up in a sweat 12 hours later and I realized, oh, I was just debating spending that on Mario Kart because I value physical and it does seem like a good game. That is stomach churningly bad. And that is supposedly a price before the fash tariffs. Are you kidding me? Nintendo was already doing this to gaming before Trump decided to do this to gaming. You can't make this up. This is awful. There is no denying that this is one of the worst months in gaming history. Like, this can't, I mean, maybe it's just a precursor to worse times, but this is awful. This is terrible. I'm not even half done. Digital is also worse, just because Nintendo's being so anal about their digital stuff. They're manhandling digital ownership in a weird way that is showing that they're still going to be fussy about it. And I admit, even though I've been annoyed with the whole digital game card thing, I'm pretty sure it's going to shake out to be a little bit better than you would think. I think it's going to have a little bit of a benefit over the old system, but it's so annoying. Why are you the way that you are with this? I will not get into how annoying this is. Anything you do to worsen digital is so bad for that damn Japan only Switch. I can't get into that because that is exclusively a product of scalping and the weak yen. That's not just about Nintendo being an idiot, which is the point of this video, by the way. I look at these consoles and I want to fucking take them offline because there are two things. Nintendo is monitoring your system in some way in order to know if it has to kill it. Have you ever watched Saw? Have you ever watched, like, Alien Stage? Have you ever watched something where a, like, person is in, like, a death collar that another entity can just, like, press a button and just execute them with? Because that's what the Switch 2 has. The Switch 2 can be executed remotely if you hack it, which, like, holy shit. If that doesn't just make you want to, like, never connect your Switch to the internet, I don't know what will. But another thing is that they're also monitoring your game chat, which, to be fair, I think most video, like, audio chat stuff is monitored. But they said they're keeping, like, the last 3 hours of your game chat on record in case they need it for, like, criminal investigations, which is, like, fine, I guess. But once you're aware of that, it's like, oh, kind of wish I didn't know that. It's better that I do, but I don't like that, especially, to be honest. And the idea that game chat is cutting into anything about the power of the system is just completely crazy. Of course it has to. I'm not an idiot. It has to, but just the emotional state of seeing that headline. By the way, some of the console power is going to go to constantly being ready. Like, if you wanted to do game chat, which a lot of people aren't going to do. Game chat's cool, but like a lot of people aren't going to do that. What else is there? There's more. I know there's more. I don't want there to be more. The console's expensive. The games are terribly expensive. We know that. The hardware, accessories, the amiibo cost $30. But I think that is more like political, global, death of international, global market. Because we didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris. Oh, she's just as bad. And now we have like the death of the global economy. That's fun. Yeah, but that's not exactly Nintendo's fault. To some degree. Oh boy. Well, I'm bending. Anything else? I should probably stop while I'm ahead, huh? I hope this audio sounds like shit and nobody listens to it. But I really needed to get that off my chest. This is terrible. This is awful. This is awful. This is so bad. I despise this. I feel the opposite of hype. I feel dread. It's not even apathy. If it was the Wii U, I'd feel apathy. I feel dread. I'm interested in these games. I want to play Kirby. But like I feel sick. Like I have to change so much. Like am I going to keep collecting physical? Am I going to keep giving value to physical if it costs this much? And if I don't go physical, I have to go digital. But like I really don't want to give them that little benefit. Like I don't want to feed into this. I still believe in physical. So this sucks a lot. Yeah. Time capsule.